Hey, welcome back to AI Tech Hub. I'm Techie. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're finding ourselves at a massive architectural crossroads in the world of data storage. And honestly, it's a choice that can literally make or break your application's ability to handle the modern data explosion. We are, of course, talking about the path of SQL versus NoSQL. So just a quick one to get us started. What is the actual difference between SQL and NoSQL databases? It's a core question that comes up time and time again in tech, and it's just so easy to get completely lost in all the jargon. But today, we're going to clear all of that up, we're cutting through the noise, and getting straight to the foundation of what sets these two data philosophies apart. Now, if you remember our previous explainer, we talked about SQL, and we introduced a very specific character, the strict librarian. Right? That librarian demands that everything, and I mean absolutely everything, is organized perfectly into strict tables, rows, and columns. There is zero room for messiness or, creative policement here. It is all about absolute order, discipline, and rigid schemas.
Think of SQL and the whole traditional relational database model as a heavy-duty filing cabinet. When you open it up, you've got labeled folders and a fixed structure. Every single document you put in there has to be formatted exactly the same way to fit perfectly into its designated spot. Because of this, SQL is incredibly predictable, which is fantastic when you need rock-solid data integrity. But the trade-off? It's rigid, very rigid. If you try to shove a differently shaped document into that perfectly tailored folder, it just isn't going to work. And choosing this rigid path early on, especially if your data naturally shifts over time, well, that can literally cost your startup thousands in messy migration fees later down the line.
But what if your data doesn't fit neatly into those perfectly manicured folders? Well, that's exactly where NoSQL comes in. It's an entirely different beast. If SQL is the strict filing cabinet, NoSQL is more like a massive, flexible box. Imagine this large open container where you can just throw in different kinds of documents. They can be different shapes, they can have entirely different internal structures, and the real beauty of it is that you don't need everything to match a fixed format or predefined schema ahead of time. You just drop the data in. It gives you incredible flexibility for rapid development, even though, it means you're giving up that rigidly predictable organization. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Neither one of these architectures is inherently better than the other. They're just different tools for entirely different jobs. SQL is your go-to when your data is super consistent and demands absolute precision. Think, complex financial transactions where every single penny must be accounted for and tracked perfectly. On the flip side, NoSQL is your absolute powerhouse when your data varies wildly, or, and this is a huge strength, when you need to scale horizontally across massive global servers. If you've got unstructured data that just needs room to breathe and expand globally across a distributed network, the flexible box of NoSQL is exactly what you reach for. So here is the ultimate architectural question I want to leave you with. As our digital world gets messier, more unstructured, and infinitely more complex, will the flexible box of NoSQL eventually consume the rigid filing cabinet entirely? Let me know where you stand on that. And hey, if you want to see how tech giants are actually using these NoSQL databases out in the wild, drop a comment below with the word NoSQL. I would absolutely love to share some concrete examples of real-world implementation with you. Be sure to follow for more because we break down a brand new concept every single explainer to keep you ahead of the curve. See you next time.